and welcome to the Resources Roadhouse. I'm Wally Graham, and today I'm joined by Ron Heeks, who's Managing Director of Larvotto Resources. Did I say that correctly then, Ron?
Larvotto, yes.
Larvotto.
It's a beach in Monaco, Wally, for those that are interested.
Okay, all right. Let's have a talk about Larvotto while we're here. You've got a portfolio blessed with a swag of interesting projects scattered around the place. Instead of me giving everybody a geography lesson, I'll just let you have your head. Tell us, so I think we've got 3 projects we're going to talk about today. Let's start with your first one, whichever one you want to go with.
Yeah, thanks, Wally. And look, our lead project is our copper cobalt stuff around Mount Isa. We've got 900 square kilometres of ground directly east and north and south of the main Glencore operation at Mount Isa. So we surround 2 operating gold copper entities, I should say. Very interesting package of ground, largely unexplored. Luckily, a lot of the long lead time items have been done, a little bit of geophysics and a fair bit of geochemistry. So we've got about 20 projects there to follow up in various stages, and no doubt we'll generate a few more with other work that we're doing. But it's a fascinating area to me. It reminds me of Kalgoorlie in the very early 80s. There's lines of workings all over the place and little to no drilling. So it's just been unloved for many, many years. Copper out of favour, owned by the big majors that never went there. We've got lots of things to follow up. We've done some very interesting geophysics already, and we've got a drill rig going to site in the next couple of weeks. But we've got more geophysics we just completed, waiting results for that, and we've got big geochemical programs going on as well. But some very exciting stuff up there. There's some very good copper hits. We've got some very interesting cobalt hits. It really is a land of opportunity up there, and we're totally surrounded by people that are kicking goals as well. So we've got players all around us that are doing very, very well at the moment, and it's good to see. And as people will probably know, we haven't heard much about the Mount Isa region for many years, but it's in the news nearly daily now. So very interesting part of the planet because of the history, because of the potential, and of course copper being one of the metals that the world has realised that it needs more of. So very exciting there. In New Zealand, epithermal gold project. This has had 10,000 metres of drilling put into it already. It's got a lot of gold in the system, big broad intersections, 100 to 200 metre intersections of low-grade mineralisation, which indicates that there's a lot of gold in the system. We just need to find out where that comes together. We've done some geochemistry there. We've reprocessed a lot of the geophysics. We think we understand what's going on. What we're seeing fits our exploration model very, very well. And we've got a geophysics program starting there in the next couple of weeks, which should delineate some pretty interesting targets, we think, from the other things we've got.
You just released an announcement from there this week, didn't you?
That's correct, Wally, and that really did highlight the typical epithermal model that people use all around the world. What we're seeing fits that model extremely well, the best I've ever seen in actual fact. And the geophysics that's been done so far really does indicate that the drilling that was done before the geophysics has probably missed its target by a bit. It has hit wide zones of alteration and very, very interesting rocks around the area. The geochemistry we did has extended that area, but the eScan geophysics indicates that there's some pretty interesting things going on. What we're doing now is bringing back some IP to really provide precise drill targets that we can put some drill rigs on and move forward on there. But very interesting area. It's quite amazing system. As I say, there's already a lot of gold floating around the area. Over an area sort of 2 kilometres by 2 kilometres, 100 metre plus intersections. It's quite unusual from that, but it shows that there's lots of gold there. We just need to see where that's come from, and it's obviously come from deeper down.
Seems to be the two. Sorry to interrupt again, but it seems like those 2 projects you've just discussed. It's they're both areas that seem highly prospective for the particular commodities you're chasing, but they have been unloved, for want of a better term.
I think unloved is the word, really. And, North Island, New Zealand has been unloved for quite a while. Remembering that it's been very, very difficult up until 18 months ago to raise money for exploration. Been there and done that over the last 10 years. It's been very, very difficult. So anything that was a little bit unusual, a little bit tougher, it just hasn't been touched. Copper has been out of favour for a long period. The ground around Isa was held by the majors. They didn't do anything with it. Basically, it was forced that they had to move that ground off. The juniors tried to get involved, but you couldn't raise money for copper exploration. Nobody was interested. So some of the slow burn, lower cost things were done, which helps for the targeting now because they're extremely time consuming, albeit not that expensive. So in both areas, unloved is exactly the word. And with all the lead work done, and we're moving into drilling quite quickly because of that, it allows you to get some points on the board without spending a huge amount of time, which is a huge amount of money.
All right. And so there's like action aplenty going on in those two particular projects, but there's also quite a bit happening near your WA project, your air project.
Now, air project, so named because it straddles the air highway. So 600 square kilometres east of Norseman, logistically very easy because of straddling the highway. But what an interesting, package of land. Again, totally unloved. Most of the area is covered with a thin veneer of soil, which stopped the old prospectors back in the day working through the area, and totally surrounded by operations nearby where there isn't the soil cover. So where the prospectors could get in and find something, you've now got operating mines. So it's, again, unloved, but we're seeing some really interesting things. We've got good lithium potential. We've got Liontown directly to our north, their Buldania project. They've been kicking some goals there. It's looking very interesting. That ground, as the geophysics shows, comes straight into our area. We've done a geochem survey over that. We're waiting on results. Unfortunately, we've been waiting for 5 months for those results, but they'll be coming through very, very shortly. So that looks interesting. We've got the guys at Galileo on the Jimbalana Dike, which is a late stage dike, cuts right through the area. We've got 30 kilometres of the Jimbalana. Galileo have been having some pretty interesting hits on the base metals and PGE space in the Jimbalana and near the Jimbalana. So we've just released a geochem survey from there with some pretty interesting nickel and other base metals there. PGEs weren't part of that package that we assayed for, but if they're there, they will be associated with the base metals. So a very strong anomaly. We've got the crews back out there now extending and infilling that anomaly. We're trying to get an EM geophysics crew in there to target that. But again, looks very interesting. Plus, there's a lot of gold potential. We're totally surrounded by operating gold mines. And you've got nickel operations nearby as well. So it's an amazing package of land. It is 600 square K, so there's a fair bit of it. But anything could happen, definitely elephant country, and nearly zero exploration undertaken on that area. So we're starting there with a very clean slate.
All right. So of the three, Ron, obviously you're quite busy on all of them. Which would we expect to hear some news from first?
It's going to be interesting. We're expecting the lithium results, pretty shortly, beyond our control. Unfortunately, as I say, we've been waiting 5 months now for lab turnaround there. So that's pretty interesting. They should be flowing through. We've got a drill rig only a few weeks away from Isa, so we'd be expecting some results there. And of course, we can hit anything interesting there with handheld XRF, so we get a pretty good instantaneous feel on that. So that's only a few weeks away. We've got geophysics results from the survey that was demobilised over the weekend. Those results will be coming through very, very shortly. And we've got the geophysics starting in New Zealand in the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see which one comes out first, Wally, but quite a few things should be hitting all around the same time. And, we are active on all 3 projects at the moment.
All right, well, make sure you keep us up to date here at the Roadhouse so we can bring all that news to everybody, our readers and viewers, and make sure, drop in and we'll chat again, and we'll let everybody know what's going on.
More than happy to do that, and thanks for the chance to talk and spread the word.